Here's a short video on how to work with the Postini spam filtering tool. First thing to understand when working with your mail is to try to understand where your mail really is. Your mail that comes in from anywhere in the world is going to come into your mail server, and then you might read it on a BlackBerry, your notebook, your desktop, or you may choose to go directly into webmail where you're actually reading mail directly on the web server. We strongly recommend that mail get filtered before it gets to the mail server. The reason for this is that you don't want to wind up with 5 different spam filtering techniques, one on your laptop, one on your desktop, one on your iPhone. That would be make for a complicated mess. Every morning, if you're using Postini with us, you should get a message, a quarantine summary message that shows a list of spam that came in the previous day. And you can go in and look, say, hey, this patch news site, hey, I want that delivered. It's quarantine, maybe it's bulk mail, but it's bulk mail that I want. And you also have the option to log into your message center to do more. After you pick a message to be delivered, you will see this confirmation window that says it's been delivered. Now, to go into the message center, you'll have a lot more capabilities. Type in your email address and your password. One of the most common questions we get is, what's my password? Is it the same as my email password? In general, no. And the trick here is just type anything. If you forgot your password, just type in anything, and then it will pull up steps to do a proper password reset, and you can set it to something that you can remember. But please always remember to use a strong password. Okay, once you're in the message center, you'll see on the left-hand side, you can select different messages. You can pick to deliver. You can pick 5 of them over here. You can deliver all of them. You can kind of scan for the things that you might want. A lot of times things that like sales from Land's End might wind up here because they are bulk commercial mail, but they might be things that you want. Once you select, if you select a bunch of different things, you'll also have the option to approve the sender. So if I just have 1 email here, but if I had 5, I can pick and choose. Maybe 3 out of 5 are going to get delivered. And I want to approve those senders. The other thing I'm looking for is suspicious messages. So here's one, password@linkedin.com. I have the capability within my message center to preview it here by clicking on this link. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what the email looks like without ever delivering it to my desktop. I'm looking at it on the Postini filtering servers, not on my desktop. So it keeps, if there's a virus in here, it keeps it away from my desktop. And this it looks like it's a legitimate message. In this case, I had it delivered to my inbox. And then when I hovered over the link in my inbox, and remember, hover, if you're suspicious of something, never click on a link. If you hover over it, you can see, it's like this has nothing to do with LinkedIn. This is some other random site. So that's a clue that this is a phishing message. And in general, always remember, no vendors send you unsolicited messages to change or confirm your password. So that's the first red flag. But when you click over this link, you can see this has nothing to do with LinkedIn, even though they made it look like that. When I go into Outlook, and again, I'm very careful not to click through and open up any links, but I can see in the mail properties section, and this is what's known as a message header, this is coming from a foreign website. Definitely stay away from that. The other thing in the message center is I can go into my settings, and I can control things like approving senders, blocking senders, changing my password to something I can remember. So that's a good place to navigate and learn how to use this before you're missing that critical email and you don't know where it is. Another question we get a lot is how to configure mail and calendars. Our strongest recommendation is keep your mail environment as simple as possible. And so folks know you can also combine multiple email accounts into your Outlook. And then just remember, you may get a lot of spam if one is filtered and one not, so you want to keep track of that. So in general, for email security, it's a necessity these days. You need that antivirus protection. You need your email security. The bad guys, just like everything, make it inconvenient for the good guys. Be very careful of phishing messages. Some are very, very clever. And take a few moments to learn to work in Postini or whatever mail filter you use before you have a crisis and you're searching for an email. And here's our contact information. We'd love to hear from you if you have questions. Check out our blog, and we post a lot of news on the site as well. Thank you very much.